The purpose of these small groups is for you to, following what we've discussed, the DCP and the moments of truth, I want you individually to talk about, and Kevin and Brian and Don are going to lead you in this, but you're doing the work. I want you to share things that have worked for your club, that make your club successful, and things where you need advice from the other people, okay? Please keep your questions and your comments brief, because if one person goes on and on and on, then the others don't get a chance to share. So state a problem or state a success. If people want to know how you did it or more details, give that and go from there, okay? The purpose of these small groups is for you to, following what we've discussed, the DCP and the moments of truth, I want you individually to talk about, and Kevin and Brian and Don are going to lead you in this, but you're doing the work. I want you to share things that have worked for your club, that make your club successful, and things where you need advice from the other people, okay? Please keep your questions and your comments brief, because if one person goes on and on and on, then the others don't get a chance to share. So state a problem or state a success. If people want to know how you did it or more details, give that and go from there, okay? A couple of thoughts here?
Yes. In order to promote club growth, it's important for the executive council to have really, really great camaraderie. Some of the ways to do that is the group that plays together grows together. It's also important to know all the roles of the executive council, just not be insular, just know what your responsibilities are. Knowledge is power, and having...
We'll come back in a second. Who else found something that you want to use for your club?
I thought it was very interesting. Besides greeting the person, having them sign the book, the most important thing is see if they would sign the application for membership while they're still there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good idea if you have extra magazines that you can pass out besides the folder that's already pre-set up.
Good. And so what you would do is you'd have them fill out the membership application.
Correct.
Maybe not sign it and give you the money, but have them do all the other work before the meeting starts, so that most of the job of joining is done. Good. What's another idea you got out of this discussion? Anybody? Yes.
I like the idea of having a guest table at every meeting that has the membership kit, an application, a magazine, and that table is always staffed by one of the officers.
Very good. Very good. What else? Yes.
Yes, qualifying the guests, so as soon as they come in, you frisk them down, make sure they got money, a credit card, or a check.
Why not? What's another idea you got? Remember, we're talking about how we get people there, how we get them to join. Yes.
That myself as the officer or another member sit by the guests during the meeting to kind of answer any questions if they look puzzled, so they really understand the meeting.
Really good idea.
That's
Excellent.
idea.
Having that table, I found, would be a really good idea. I find it's really hard to approach people and have to talk to them about money. No one wants to be approached and talk about money. So having the table at the beginning with information like we have here, and greeting people from it, especially for the role as treasurer. She said the treasurer doesn't really have much to give, and then when it comes time for money, no one's really thinking of it, and so it's kind of hard to come up to people and
Yeah, but let's not sell treasurer short. Collecting the money is one of the most important things. So.
exactly.
But it's not constant.
Yeah, it's not constant. And this gives him a constant role. I like that. Anything else? We'll go over to the other group. Yes, Tom.
I liked the idea that we discussed about the executive council, the officers sharing their meeting information with the club members as a whole to bring some continuity and bridge with the
I think that's great.
officers.
Many clubs that I know of start out the first couple of minutes of a meeting with a quick report from membership on how many members we have and what's in the works there, with a quick report from the treasurer on how much money we have, makes us look good, and a quick report from the vice president of education about any roles that need to be filled, and then you move on. And that way guests get to see that this is a working organization, not just a bunch of people who come together. Very good.
One thing that came up was signing up people using Wi-Fi with a computer set up. Sign people up right there, electronically.
If somebody else if the vice president of membership or the treasurer takes the membership application home, it may be a day or two or 3 or 4 before they actually input it into the system or get it to Toastmasters. But this way it gets to Toastmasters right away. Those books will be there in a couple of days. Very good thinking. Let's move over to the other group here. And anybody at all, what are some of the ideas that you got out of this group meeting for club administration and educational programming? Don, you have a thought?
Well, it's sort of consolidating some of the really good inputs we got. I mean, one challenge was regarding speeches and getting people to start with speeches, and there were the kind of two extremes. The one is, hey, you got speakers and you're really trying to get them into the program and start giving speeches, and then some on the other extreme is why you get so many people signed up to get them. So at one end, the idea of mentorship is really making sure somebody's working with the new members to get them into that icebreaker and even through the first 3 speeches is essential. And the other extreme, when there's kind of a choke point, sometimes setting up special things like a speech-a-thon or maybe arranging with other clubs to allow people to give their speeches was mentioned. It's always good to have maybe 1 or 2 speeches already prepared so that you're ready to give them at any time.
Good.
So that was one. And then just with the on table topics, which some emphasize, this can actually become more than just its proportional value in the club. Ideas like doing something improvisational, rather than just talk on something, you have to kind of put yourself into another personality, even an animal. So you can get very creative with table topics, and that really adds to the benefit.
It adds to the variety in a club, which helps keep members interested and which excites new members. Who else got something, Tom?
And piggybacking on the idea of going to other clubs to get speeches done, and encouraging cooperation rather than competition between and amongst clubs, because we want to progress together and we should help each other out. Let the club know you're coming before you want to give a speech at their club first, and see what you can work out.
Good. Anybody else got something that they want to take back to their club? Or have we summed it all up here?
I personally believe that a successful meeting is one where everyone participates and everyone speaks, and the officers, that's their key role to make sure that happens. So guests get a chance to introduce themselves, someone is part of table topics, but if there's someone left out, then make sure before that meeting adjourns that you say, well, do you have a little bit of feedback or a comment about something that happened at the meeting, so that everybody who attends speaks.
Good, and it's also an opportunity for the table topics master to be aware of who has spoken and who hasn't, and make sure that somebody who doesn't have a role assigned is one of the people called on in table topics. Good thinking. Anything else? Okay.
When you've completed one CL book, one CL manual, do you have to buy another CL manual, or can you simply photocopy that last sheet and just write in that you did credit and you get no evaluation?
No. When you finish your competent communicator manual, let Toastmasters know which 2 you want for free.
CL.
Oh,
CL.
Competent
CL,
leader.
sorry. Okay. Yeah, you don't get a CL for free. Let me call on an expert, either Linnea or Circe.
Circe gave us an answer on that before.
You can get the sheet that has the list, and it's blank, and it's in PDF form. I have used the same CL manual over again and gotten new evaluations. However, when you submit a CL to Toastmasters International, you only need the back sheet. So you can have somebody do an evaluation. Somebody pointed out to me that if you're doing Toastmaster, it's like in 3 different places, the role for Toastmaster is different in each segment. So the evaluation is different. Anytime you want to do another CL, you can either purchase a new one or you can use that evaluation page over again. Just have somebody fill it out again. Put a blank over it, something, so they can fill something out for you. You don't have to buy another CL manual because that sheet is available on TI to download.
Assuming you can do the CL more than once?
Oh, yes, every
Yeah,
year.
you can-
Okay.
Yeah, you just can't submit two of them
In the same club, in the same term.
in the same club in the same
Year.
July through June.
Okay, thank you.
CC, is there a limitation on how many of those you can do in a year?
I think it's 800, maybe it's 1,000. Depends on how young you are when you start. Again, the same rule applies that Cersei mentioned. You can't submit two CCs in the same year from the same club. But you can submit two in the same year if one is from this club and one is from that club.